Have you ever had that feeling, that universal frustration maybe, of contracts and documents, approvals just getting completely stuck? Email limbo.
Oh, yeah. Or just the sheer volume of it all.
Exactly. The
Oh, boy.
paperwork,
Yeah.
it seems to overwhelm almost every business, doesn't it? You're trying to move fast, maybe close a deal, onboard a client, and bam.
Suddenly you're drowning.
Drowning in Word docs, chasing signatures, battling different versions. It's a huge drain, a real barrier to being agile.
That's so true. I mean, I've seen companies practically grind to a halt over a missing signature or, a contract with the wrong date.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not just annoying, it's a fundamental drag on the business. And that's exactly why our deep dive today is so important, I think. We're
We're
looking at two areas that are, well, really transforming how businesses operate: contract lifecycle management, CLM, and document generation.
So our mission today is to really unpack why CLM and document generation matter so much right now,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you're an organization leveraging Salesforce, right?
Definitely.
We want to reveal the essential tools, the things you need to consider to master this sort of often overlooked backbone of business.
And to guide us, we're leaning heavily on a really insightful article. It's called Why CLM and Document Generation Matter.
Yes, written by Darren Ferneyhough, and that's pronounced Ferneyhough, just so everyone knows.
Exactly, Darren Ferneyhough. And he brings, well, a really deep level of understanding here. As the author, he's been a Salesforce professional since way back in 2008.
Wow, long time.
Yeah, and a Salesforce contractor over in the UK since 2013. Plus, he co-leads and project manages within the UK Salesforce consultants and contractors community, so this isn't just theory for him.
No, clearly hands-on. And his credentials, they really speak for themselves. He's a 5-Bag certified Salesforce SME subject matter expert since 2007.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, he's an all-star ranger on Salesforce Trailhead. Now, for anyone not deep in the Salesforce world, that means he's absolutely mastered their learning platform. We're talking, what, 12,019 badges?
An incredible number, and 148 super badges. Those are the really tough, hands-on challenges that prove you can apply the skills in real situations.
So he knows his stuff.
Absolutely. His career backs that up, too. Successful greenfield Salesforce implementations, completely overhauling messy, complex instances.
Oh, the tough jobs.
The really tough ones. And he even led the digital transformation for a university's whole student enrollment process. So Darren gets the tech, but also how it hits operations, data quality, costs, the real-world impact.
Okay, so Darren's article, it really sets the scene perfectly then. Imagine you're leading a Salesforce transformation or maybe just trying to manage a complex org you inherited.
Yeah.
And suddenly contracts, they're just everywhere. Sales has them, procurement, legal, HR.
Everyone's got their own version, their own process.
Right, each with unique requirements, compliance headaches, and this constant stream of Word documents flying around in email.
Yeah.
Sounds chaotic, doesn't it?
It is chaotic. And what Darren really emphasizes is that contracts, they aren't just bits of paper. They are the absolute foundation, the backbone of all your business relationships.
That makes sense.
But without automation, they become this breeding ground for risk, for costly delays. Darren even mentions studies showing manual processes can lead to like up to 9% revenue leakage.
9%, just from things like missed renewals or bad terms.
Exactly. Missed renewals, poorly negotiated terms slipped through the cracks. It's not just an efficiency issue, it hits the bottom line directly. Cash flow, growth, it all suffers.
That's a really powerful point. And it's not just about avoiding the pain, is it? Enterprises today, they're looking for more. They want like a single source of truth for all that contract data.
They crave it. And seamless collaboration between departments, the ability to actually operate at the speed business demands today, those manual bottlenecks, they're just not sustainable anymore.
Sound familiar? Perhaps you've, faced these exact challenges in your own organization.
I bet many listening have. Now, a natural question, especially if you're already deep into Salesforce, is probably, well, doesn't Salesforce handle some of this?
Right. Doesn't it have tools?
And the answer is, well, yes, up to a point. Salesforce definitely provides a solid foundation for, let's say, basic contract management.
Okay, like what?
You've got Salesforce files for storage, right? You can use Flow for some automation. There are standard approval processes, even some basic document generation using templates. You can track contract records, automate simple approvals, store the signed copies centrally.
And I sense there's a but coming. based on Darren's analysis.
There's a big but, exactly. Native Salesforce capabilities, they really start to fall short when you hit those more demanding, more complex requirements.
Such as,
Well, think about robust clause libraries, where you can dynamically insert pre-approved legal language based on deal specifics. Salesforce doesn't really do that out of the box.
okay, that's a big one for legal teams.
Huge. Or real-time redlining and collaborative editing. Imagine multiple people working on a contract simultaneously without creating 5 different versions flying around in email.
Yeah, that's the dream, isn't it? Avoiding version, nightmare, final v2 dot docs.
Precisely. Native Salesforce also struggles with automated version control, the kind with detailed audit trails you need for compliance. It doesn't offer comprehensive e-signature orchestration to manage the whole signing process smoothly.
And integrations.
That's another key area. When you need deep integration with, say, CPQ configure price, quote for your sales quoting, or Service Cloud for customer agreements, or maybe external systems like electronic health records and healthcare, that's where the native platform needs help.
Plus things like multi-language templates, complex branding, conditional logic.
Exactly. Add all that complexity in, and you quickly see why specialized third-party solutions have become pretty much essential. Tools like Titan, Conga, DocuSign CLM, Nintex, they exist for these reasons.
So, okay, given those limitations, what does Darren's article point to as the sort of must-haves then? What's on the enterprise wish list for a proper CLM or document generation solution?
Top of the list, he argues, is dynamic document generation. The ability to pull real-time data from basically any Salesforce object or even a report and instantly create a perfectly formatted document.
No more copy-pasting data.
No more copy-pasting, no more errors from that. Building on that, a really robust clause library and template management system is key. Darren puts it nicely. So legal can sleep at night, knowing the right approved language is always used.
Makes sense. What else?
Comprehensive redlining, commenting, collaboration tools, gotta eliminate those version nightmares we talked about.
Wait.
And for compliance, which is huge, detailed audit trails and version control are absolutely non-negotiable. You need to know who changed what, when.
And thinking globally, multi-language support, branded templates.
Crucial. Automated workflows and approval routing too, obviously, to keep things moving, not stuck in someone's inbox for weeks.
Seamless e-signature integration seems like a given now.
Definitely. Secure, compliant, easy to use. And finally, a really big one Darren highlights, no code configuration.
Empowering the admins, not just developers.
Exactly. Allowing administrators or even business users to adapt and build processes without needing a developer intervention. That's a massive differentiator for speed and agility. So yeah, if you're thinking about implementing or upgrading CLM, that's basically your checklist right there.
Okay, that's a solid list. Now, you mentioned a few key players, Conga, DocuSign CLM, Nintex. Darren's article also spends some time on Titan, right, suggesting it's making waves,
Yeah.
particularly in the UK and EMEA.
It does, yes. It notes Titan is gaining significant traction, often because clients are looking for that powerful flexibility, but maybe without the extreme complexity some enterprise solutions might involve.
So what makes Titan stand out, according to the analysis?
Well, first, that dynamic document generation piece. They really emphasize being able to instantly create docs from any Salesforce data, totally no code. Templates are fully customizable, branded. You can build in complex conditional logic for different scenarios.
So really automating complex contracts or proposals.
Exactly. It aims to fundamentally speed up how sales and legal can work together. And it's not just generation, it's the full contract lifecycle orchestration.
Yeah.
From the first draft through negotiation, internal approvals, sending for signature, execution, renewals. Titan aims to digitize every single step and critically provide 360-degree tracking and analytics.
So you always know where a contract is, no more black holes.
That's the goal. That visibility alone can solve just huge amounts of admin time and chasing.
What about the collaboration side? Redlining and things?
Yeah, they cover that too. Redlining, commenting, even direct MS Word integration for people who are, still comfortable working that way with track changes. But importantly, every change, comment, approval, it's all tracked back in Salesforce and within Titan's own analytics layer.
And the workflows, approvals.
All configurable via a no-code interface. You can set up complex approval chains, automated reminders, escalations if things get stuck, triggered right from Salesforce data or specific business rules you defined.
Does it handle e-signatures itself?
It has its own built-in e-sign module, but it also integrates with other major providers if you have a preference or an existing relationship. But again, the big differentiator that comes up is that true no-code configuration.
Right, empowering the business users and admins.
Yeah, letting them build, adapt, launch processes quickly without needing IT queues, that really resonates with teams wanting to be agile. And one more crucial bonus, Titan emphasizes its live push-pull sync with Salesforce.
Meaning the data is always current?
Exactly. Whether you're generating a contract using Salesforce data or collecting a signature and need to update fields back in Salesforce automatically afterwards, it's designed to be real-time, keeping everything aligned.
You can see how that stacks up. The no-code aspect, the agility for potentially faster deployment compared to some really heavy config solutions.
And it's often mentioned for competitive pricing too, which, as Darren notes, is particularly relevant for that leukemia market context.
Okay, theory and features are one thing. How does this actually play out? Darren's article includes some real-world examples, right?
It does, and they really help bring the impact to life across different sectors.
Give us one. Healthcare, maybe.
Okay, healthcare. Imagine a provider integrates Titan with Salesforce Health Cloud. Suddenly, they can dynamically generate and pre-fill things like patient consent forms, insurer agreements, appointment confirmations, pulling data straight from the patient record.
Wow, okay.
Then these docs are routed for secure e-signature, all automated. Think about the benefits. Way less manual paperwork for staff, much higher compliance accuracy, and a smoother, faster onboarding for patients. It really improves that whole experience.
That's huge in healthcare. What about, say, the legal sector?
Right, another great example. He mentions a mid-sized law firm, Lucent Law. They use Titan to automate engagement letters, NDAs, client onboarding forms.
The standard but time-consuming stuff.
Exactly. Paralegals, even lawyers, can redline, comment, approve documents right there within Salesforce or Titan's interface. All the changes are tracked, signed docs sync back automatically. The result, they onboard clients faster with fewer errors, and the clients are happier because it's just easier.
Streamlined. Makes sense. And one more, maybe SaaS or tech. That's a classic use case.
Definitely. Picture a SaaS vendor using Titan. They generate their master service agreements, statements of work, renewal contracts directly from opportunity records in Salesforce.
Pulling in all the deal specifics automatically.
Right. Sales, legal, finance can all collaborate on the document in real time. Deals close faster, sometimes days or even weeks faster because the approvals and e-signatures are automated.
You can really see the efficiency gains there.
Yeah.
And the competitive edge that gives them. It makes you think, how could this translate to your business? What bottlenecks could CLM actually remove day to day?
Exactly. And if these examples are hitting home and you're maybe thinking about implementing or upgrading your own CLM or DocGen solution, Darren's article provides some really critical questions to ask vendors and key things to consider for implementation too.
Because it's not just about the flashy features, is it? It's about finding the right fit for your specific needs, your challenges.
Absolutely. So when you talk to vendors, you need to ask the tough questions. How does their solution really handle that real-time data sync with Salesforce? Is it truly real-time?
Good point.
Can your business users, your admins, genuinely configure workflows and templates themselves? Or are you going to need IT support every time you want to tweak something? What's their approach to managing that clause library and handling template versioning?
And the redlining piece.
Yeah, how does that work? Is it only inside Salesforce? Does it integrate properly with Word if your teams need that? Both? What kind of audit trails and reporting do they offer for compliance? That's crucial.
Integrations too.
Definitely. How do they handle integrations with CPQ, Service Cloud, maybe your finance system, other external tools? And very practically, what are the licensing and pricing models? Especially, as Darren points out, understanding any nuances for UK or EMEA clients.
Okay, so those are vendor questions. What about the implementation itself? What should you be thinking about internally?
Well, data migration is often a big one. How easy or difficult is it going to be to get all your existing legacy contracts into the new system?
Good point. That could be a huge task.
It can be. And change management. Will your users need tons of training, or is the interface intuitive enough that people will actually adopt it quickly? Does the tool integrate smoothly with your existing Salesforce setup, or is there a risk it creates new data silos?
Security and compliance always top of mind.
Paramount. Is it GDPR ready? How and where is data encrypted and stored? And scalability, can it handle your peak volumes? Can it cope as your workflows get more complex over time?
So when you're evaluating, you really need to map your specific pain points to the features you're seeing, right? Don't just get wowed by a demo.
Exactly. Ask for references, maybe specifically UK-based ones if that's relevant. Score vendors on usability, on their support quality, on how their future roadmap aligns with where you want to go.
And you mentioned cultural fit earlier.
Yeah, I think that matters. Does the vendor really understand your market's compliance needs, the business norms? It can make a surprising difference in how smoothly the project goes and how well the tool fits long term.
Okay, looking ahead then. What's the future look like for CLM and document automation in the Salesforce world? Darren's article paints it as bright, maybe even a bit wild.
Yeah, Brighton, a bit wild, sounds about right. There's some really exciting, potentially transformative trends on the horizon.
Oh, absolutely. We're starting to see, and we'll see more of, AI-powered clause suggestions. Imagine AI helping you draft better clauses or even analyzing contracts for potential risks.
That's powerful stuff. And deeper integrations with other AI-driven CRM features. Think about things like Salesforce Einstein, Agentforce, predictive analytics, making the whole sales and service cycle smarter, more proactive, with contract insights built in.
And even more no-code, low-code, presumably.
Definitely. Empowering even more business users to build and adapt these processes themselves. We'll see real-time contract analytics and compliance dashboards becoming standard, giving you that instant granular oversight.
And maybe seamless experiences across channels.
Yeah, exactly. Imagine initiating a contract process on your mobile, someone else reviewing it on desktop, getting it signed, and everything tracked perfectly across all devices effortlessly. That omni-channel experience is coming.
So the message for Salesforce professionals, consultants, architects, folks leading these initiatives in-house is really to get hands-on now.
Absolutely. Don't just read about it or watch demos. Build a prototype, experiment with the tools, figure out what actually works for your specific needs or your client's needs. The competitive edge really will go to those who embrace this stuff.
It really feels like mastering CLM and document generation isn't just a nice-to-have anymore. It's about transformative power.
It really is. Faster deal closures, much better compliance, huge improvements in operational efficiency. The organizations that truly get this right, they won't just close deals faster and stay compliant. They'll also sleep better at night, knowing their core business relationships are built on a solid, automated, reliable foundation.
That is a fantastic thought to end on. Sleeping better at night thanks to good CLM. If you want to keep exploring these topics, maybe connect with others, Darren Ferneyhough mentioned engaging with the UK Salesforce consultants and contractors community. Sounds like a great resource.
Definitely a good place for continued learning and connection in the ecosystem.
Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into why CLM and document generation truly matter.